This past Thursday at lectionary lunch, Nick Markoff and I were talking about the new Pope, Pope Francis, and he brought up a colloquialism that the Pope has used down in Brazil. You can always add water to the beans. And he was kind of wondering what that was about. And the way Nick is, he goes and looks it up on the internet, and he was kind enough to send me the answer. And I won't trouble you with my horrible Spanish and my non-existent Portuguese and put it in the original form that the Pope shared it in. But it basically means that if more people show up to your table, you can always stretch the food supply. There will always be a place there for somebody. Let me give you the context that Pope Francis gave this in. He was speaking to about, I think, 2 or 3 million people on the beach there at Copacabana, most of them youth. And he was talking about how it was among the needy, how they always found a way to add water to the beans, and how the needy always seem to have such a generous spirit. Now, that one simple phrase, you can always add water to the beans, is a perfect exegesis, which means a study, of the gospel lesson we have today. Because we've got this rich guy, and he's got all these barns full of stuff, and he's got more stuff, so what do I need? I need to build bigger barns, and so I can keep even more stuff. And I'm just going to have lots of stuff. Very different from add more water to the bean. So he has to surrender his soul. But why not? It's atrophied anyway. You know, if you heard the gospel lesson, the thing that struck me was he thought to himself, what should I do? I will do, I will pull, I will store, I will say, I. So his soul has already been surrendered to the tyranny of the I of the ego. Being in such atrophy, no wonder God said, give it back. I'm going to take that little precious piece of cosmic energy, perhaps put it somewhere else where it can do the work of God's kingdom. See, there's the rub. The other thing that gets me in this gospel lesson is the guy comes up to Jesus, tell my brother to divide things justly. And Jesus says, who am I to judge you or to be an arbitrator over you? Jesus is not your judge. He says it right there in Luke's gospel. Who am I to be a judge over you? God knows the church really tries hard to turn Jesus into some otherworldly judge that's sitting there saying, getting ready, going to clobber you. So you better be what? Afraid. Then you'll need me. I can take care of you. See how that works? That's bull. Don't tell the bishop I said. Anyway, but it is. It's bull. What's really going on here is Jesus is pointing out there's only one judge. Only one person that can judge you. It's not me. It's the person that knows you better than anyone except God. And who's that? You. And if you're under the tyranny of the ego, under the tyranny of that I will, I want, I'm going to build bigger barns, I'm going to expand my portfolio, I'm going to be secure, I'm going to have this, you'll never be able to clearly assess or arbitrate what your true needs are to be the human being God called you and created you and me to be. It's surrender. Surrender to the love of self, to the love that God has for you, to the love that Jesus has for each and every one of us, to allow us to be the judge and the arbitrator so our souls won't atrophy can do the things that Paul talks about. Putting away I, turning towards the generosity of us and our, turning towards the promise of God.